Welcome to bizemag.com and Global HR Virtual Summit 2022. Today's guest of honor is Nicolas Behbahani from France. He is CEO and HR head of TechnicFMC, which is based in Paris. Welcome, Nicolas, to Global HR Virtual Summit.
Good afternoon, Vanita. What a privilege to be with you today. And good afternoon, good morning. And I'm glad to be, you invited me. What a pleasure to be with you today and all your listeners to discuss about this people analytics topic.
Thank you so much, Nicolas, for accepting our invitation and to talk upon this, the recently very hot topic about HR analytics and people analytics. So I will introduce you to my audience through a brief biography, if you permit me.
Of course.
Nicolas Behbahani is Head of People Analytics and HR Innovation in TechnicFMC based in Paris, headquartered for almost 4 years. He metamorphosed HR data analysis with the power of data science with a strong computer science background and experience in data science. Nicolas is responsible for the development of HR data strategy aligned with the HR function priorities. He provides HR data analysis as an asset to help users discover insights and make better data-driven decisions to advance the organization. He is also in charge of the HR innovation part by being the project manager of the AI, that is artificial intelligence projects. He manages a global team of people analytics analysts and data scientists around the world. To name few countries, US, France, India, Norway, and the list goes on. He has an engineering degree in mathematics and data science from Paris University and a certificate in people analytics from New York University. He also holds a medal from the National Conservatory of Arts and Crafts in Paris. We again welcome Nicolas Behbahani to this podium, and we will have honor of listening to his expertise on the topic of today, why people analytics must adapt to the new realities of the world. So Nicolas, my first question would be, of late, if I go through LinkedIn kind of professional network, I saw so many articles that have been written about or discussions about HR analytics. Why is it so that there is a sudden boom in these kind of topics being discussed?
Yeah, thank you, Vanita, first of all, for the introduction and also for bringing these topics, in your virtual summit. Yes, HR analytics has become more critical than before for the human resource team. I'm sharing every day many articles about research about HR data analytics, and nowadays we see that there is a growing demand on talent analytics, HR analytics, both inside and outside of HR functions, because there is, since the outbreak of COVID-19, there is, in any HR topics, there is a need from data. There is a need from insight. You are thinking about great resignation. That was, in the last year, we saw that there is a need to look at the data, to look at, why the employee are leaving, the reason that they are leaving. So the organization needs to look at their HR data. Employee engagement is the same. How many of employees are engaged or not? The same things from diversity. The diversity inside the diversity metrics. When you need to look at all of these metrics, you need to look at the data. So HR analytics is what I would like to say a competitive advantage for large companies if they go through to these topics and create use this HR data to find them. So one thing that is very important, is that they need HR analytics can help to understand better employees based on the survey, based on their data. And many times, I'm saying to all the leaders that, all the answer that you want, it's inside the organization, inside the data. So with your data, you have all the answer. You don't need to go anywhere. It's out inside your companies. So that's why, analyzing data have helped companies to make decision at the time of the change of the risk, based on this data analytics, we can, understand what exactly employees need. For example, special accommodations. What is the expectation of employees based on the survey, or based on the fact that to track the metrics, because one of the part of the people analytics task is to track the metrics and monitor the key metrics. So we can use our metrics, the relevant metrics, to track them. The most known metrics is the turnover rate, right? So based on the turnover rate, we can see that what is exactly the real-time data that is for employee attrition, for market compensation trends, recruiting performance. And so nowadays, and this is the topics that you will bring, what is the new realities of work is about the vaccination, workforce vaccination status. This is the new metric that the organization never tracked in 2019 or 18. I was just reviewing last night about one HR trends in 2019. Some of the documentation that was published in 2019, there was not any topics about vaccination status, about the return to office sentiment. This is the data is changing, the people are changing, the topics is changing, and we need new metrics, we need new data, to track them, to answer the organization and the insight. So that's why I don't think that is a new normal. I prefer the new realities, because there was a trend from new normal. There was a new hybrid work. Now we are, there are new topics that is coming from fully remote. The job posting on fully remote is growing day by day. And there is I share during this week about new topics that is coming for 4 days week. So the topics is changing a lot. The trend is changing, and the organization need, based on their data that they have, to track what is the trend in order, just one thing that I said in the beginning, understand employee better. That's the things that we need absolutely, the organization needs to look, and it's essential for everyone to look at the data. So that's why another topic is productivity, because we have discussed about the trend about work from home, from work from everywhere, etc. The another thing that is very important for everyone is the productivity. Workers continue to work, from everywhere, right? So data needs to use to evaluate employee productivity, engagement of them is more becoming important, because what is very important for me, as I have a global role, right? I have some of the people they are working in India, they are US, etc. I don't care about where they are working. What is important is the projects. Is for the business leader, is that, or HR leader, is that their team is working and delivering the project. So what is very important is the productivity. So I don't want to say that is a non-topic, they work from home, or this remote work. but what is important is the productivity that we need to track, how they feel also our employees. I and my team are, because we need to keep them, right? Because many of the organization, they are shifting to more, remote work, more flexible, operation. So what they need, companies, to keep them. So employee engagement, employee experience is something, the topics that in 22, it will become very important for them, and to track and to look at their data.
Very correctly pointed out, Nicolas. All these points are hotspot and continuous day-to-day changing scenario in the companies, and how the business conduct and how the management runs their affairs. HR needs to be at the core of the company to take care of this changing scenario and to keep everyone, in team. And there are so many aspects of HR that you just said. So what, in these continuously changing scenarios, as you just mentioned, vaccination, yes, of late vaccination statistics would be very, very important, and they are being taken care of by the companies, that we should have fully vaccinated task force as much as possible. So what is a new tool that you feel that HR analytics has innovated, or your team has innovated, in order to combat these kind of challenges during pandemic or post-pandemic?
Absolutely, Vanita. Great question. As I said, data is changing, the topic trends is changing. So we need absolutely to create new tools to track, new analytics metrics. As you said, for vaccination, many of my peers and myself, we built some tools in order to track the vaccination status of employees. Why? Because one of the side is about to protect employees, to see how many of the people are fully vaccinated, not fully vaccinated, etc. But also there is some rules about the countries. It depends on countries, because I have a global role. So it depends on the countries. For example, US, they have put some mandates on employees, US employees, to come to work, right? So we need to track them, how many of employees. There is some legal, requirements, but also internally, for the well-being of the employee, for the healthy of the employee, they need, to track these new metrics. So as I said, in 2019, 2018, there was not this tool available, right? So
Correct.
We need to from scratch to create this new tool in order, to put available from the leaders, from the HR leaders, and also from the business, to track them. So there is, a demand for creation of new tools. So about well-being, there is two parts about your question about vaccination. So yes, vaccination status, dashboards to track these metrics, maybe on real time, because we need to have, is someone is, having the COVID, so we need to inform them, to inform and to track them, because there is an impact, about the business. He cannot come to the office. So there is some, impact, that side effects that we need, to take care. And also we need to new tool that is coming about well-being. The well-being is something that we need, the organization need to see what is, the health of their employees, about, okay, what is the physical, emotional, financial, and social health of their employees. This something, it was not the case in 2019. This is new problematics that is coming to our area nowadays in 2022. So one of the, about one of the topics that it's HR leaders need to take care, I was just looking at one research, it's well-being. The well-being is coming, some of the hot topic for 22, because the employees will come back to the office. How we can, return employees to the office. So in order to, prepare in the safe, place, workplace. So you see that there is a need for new tools. There is a new trend. So people analytics team need, to give to the leaders, this new tool and the new insights.
You're right, because before 2020 happened and COVID happened, I think nobody ever thought that there would be a need of keeping vaccination records or stats in employee management at companies or businesses, while now it is the top priority, I suppose, to keep the health of everyone secure. That's the basic purpose. So how do you think that HR analytics can lead a business to success in these times? How important is this? And what are the ways?
Yes, exactly. Good, great question. We need also, because we are still in the, Vanita, we are still in the pandemic, right? We are not thinking about post-pandemic. We are still in the pandemic, and the leading companies, they need, to take meaningful action around social factors, climate, social factors, ESG. When we are talking about ESG, environmental, social, and governance. So about these topics, there is some topics that it's about D&I, diversity, equity, inclusion, and also well-being. So about these three topics, people analytics can help them, to help them to track these metrics. Because what's important also, to provide these metrics about D&I, well-being, etc., is how the companies can, improve these metrics during the years, right? So they need to, year by year, month by year, to take action and to see, for example, next year, what is, these metrics about diversity, how, diverse is the team, how the, the promotion of women in the leadership team or in the manager position is, tracked during the months, and to see the progress. So, and why it's important, this track? Because there is an impact of, attracting the new generation. We see that many of the research, based on some research, the generation Z and the new joiners, they are looking at these ESG metrics because they want to see what companies they're taking action on, diversity. What is the action on woman position? What is the action on the climate? The business. So the business, people analytics can have an impact on this, point. And also we need about, we are in the beginning, I said about great resignation. We need also to build the workforce for the post-pandemic situation, because, focus on the skills. It should be, something very important, that we need to prepare, employees need to prepare the future, develop critical skills for the post-pandemic, and potentially to open multiple opportunities in their, companies, in order to develop, to retain employees. The retention is very important. I guess after this movement of great resignation, there are more and more, companies are looking at how to retain people, because all the HR topics is about great resignation. Every you're looking at every website, great resignation, etc. But the majority of employees, they are still working, right? So companies need to think about the people that they didn't put their resignation, right? They are still working on the companies. So what actions about? It's not about just the top level, the top talent. Is about the global rules for all the companies, employees, that they are still working, and they need to keep them, about well-being action, about promotion, so there is many topics. And all these topics, again, I'm coming to the beginning, this is related to the data. How you can, monitor the promotion with the data. How you can, things about, their salary, because about the research shows that why employees are leaving. One is about compensation, because you are getting, you know, more paid externally, so you will leave the company. But another thing is their manager. So there, you know, there are many topics that we need, absolutely organization needs to look at in order to how they can, you know, retain their employees. So yeah, this is the continuous work of people analytics.
Yes, I think great resignation, that particular topic will lead to, and crisis will lead to how to retain talent and how to manage talent, how to create the well-being, intra-relations of the teams, the teamwork, because everybody is work from their home. There is no interrelation play now as in a physical office happens. So there is no energy exchange between different people. So there are so many forces which are coming into play and changing the scenario thereby. So talent retention is also one of the greatest crises which companies are facing right now. And because of resignations or because of sometimes firing also by companies, because companies, when they find that they are not able to work in this pandemic, even through, because some companies, they depend upon work on site. So they are firing people, they are reducing the number of employees with them. So that is also crisis with employees. There are so many things happening, but if we focus on people analytics only, how do you think that a CHRO can lead people analytics into improving, or how he can, you know, enhance or incorporate people analytics into the company's mainstream? As I was reading through an article of Harvard Business Review today only on people analytics, it said that today almost 9% of HR or mainstream is people analytics in a company or in a business largely. So how do you think a CHRO can benefit through people analytics?
You know, the central question is about, you know, to how they put, you know, put people analytics, you know, in the heart of the HR organization. So they need, you know, CHRO needs to put the power, you know, in the team of people analytics. In order, you know, the data-driven strategy should, you know, start with the people analytics. So the increased importance of HR metrics is something that they need to put as a, you know, core values of the HR. You know, when you are looking at each HR job posting, you know, there is, you know, a mention about HR data, you know, skills from HR data, skills from data-driven, you know, HR. So in every HR, you know, functions, there is a question about data. So when you see that, you know, more and more HR BPs, talent acquisition, talent management, you know, person, they are coming, you know, they are, you know, having these data skills, you know, HR data skills. People analytics needs, you know, to have a roadmap, you know, to have a clear roadmap about whenever, you know, they are, because, you know, people analytics, you know, roadmap is based on the maturity of the organization. Some of the organization, they are at the age of spreadsheet. Some of them, they are in data descriptive analytics. Some of them, they are, you know, advanced analytics. So, and between, you know, the spreadsheet and the advanced analytics, it will be happen, you know, many years, you know, when you are looking at the journey of people analytics, it's a long journey. It's not a small journey, but it's a small project that 6 months or 1 year, we are in the, you know, at the up level stage. So to you know, to achieve this, you know, predictive analytics, you know, journey, to going to the artificial intelligence, you know, part, we need absolutely that to put all the workforce and all the strategy, to have a strategy and a clear roadmap, and to have a people analytics leader. Because without the leaders, without the workforce, without the skills from people analytics, you cannot achieve that. So you need to create first of all a team. You need a leader. You need to create a team. You need also, as I said, to have your requirements, these key metrics that it needs to be updated every time. Not only turnover metrics, because turnover is something that it was in the past, right? Now we have new metrics to track. New metrics, this is very important. You said workforce vaccination status, something that is new, something new. Going forward, it will be return to office sentiments. Okay, what is the feelings of employees that they will come back to their office? So to track new metrics, but also to track those metrics that was in the past: market compensation trend, recruiting performance, recruiting metrics. All of these current metrics needs to be tracked in order to help data-driven strategy and to help, CHRO, CEO, to take decision based on this, data and based on these metrics. So there is a long journey, and we cannot, they can succeed. And I think each companies that they have created the people analytics, team, they see the add value of them after some years, some months. It's not about months, because we cannot, create a team, recruit, data scientists, data analysts, etc. in a couple of weeks of months. There is, a need from, HR, to come to this, data analytics, and also data analytics team needs to come to the HR area. So the success, your question is about success. They can succeed when they two both meet each other, that analytics have this HR, skills, and HR skills, data skills. In that way, they can, succeed in their, of course, business question, business goals, because, we shouldn't forget that the creation of people analytics is the support and to succeed the business. We need absolutely, to support business and to succeed the organization.
Thank you, Nicolas. That was a really great conversation with you, and it's our privilege to have you here from France all the way. And that's the beauty of remote working, that knowledge is exchanged, views are exchanged across 7 seas, I must say. As in mythology, we always say that 7 seas is a very, very big distance to cover, and that can be covered in dreams. But now these tools like Zoom and WebEx and meeting rooms, they are making it possible to have such kind of global summits. Thank you so much once again for being here. Thank you all the participants, all the teammates of Nicolas. All the best wishes to